Good morning. It is 7:05 a.m. on Friday, December 3rd, 2021. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So I'm a little bit embarrassed because earlier this week I suggested that Rocket's second birthday was on Saturday. But my Facebook memories helpfully informed me today that I was apparently misremembering. Rocket's second birthday is today. He is a 2 years old dog. Um, you know what? What I did last year for 5 more minutes is I had him up on camera a little bit. But you know what? He's snoozing right now. It's his birthday. Why am I going to just disturb him to take a picture? Yeah. I post lots of pictures of him anyway. Like, if you're not seeing the pictures that I post of him, you should check out my Twitter or Facebook feed because I post lots of pictures of Rocket. But in any case, now I have to go into the office today, but perhaps I will be coming home with something special for a little dog. In any case, my media consumption last evening was pretty eclectic. I completed my rewatch of The Sopranos, with the only episode that I had left for last night was just the very last episode, which is interesting to revisit just because David Chase, the showrunner, the creator of that show, has recently given an interview where he pretty much basically, like, if you didn't ever watch The Sopranos or didn't ever pay attention to it, the finale was somewhat notorious for having an ending that you could call potentially ambiguous, but basically what happens is it's building tension as to make us suggest that maybe something bad is going to happen, but then the screen just goes black abruptly, and then that's it, without having shown anything bad happen. And I think that there's a lot, it's certainly unexpected. And I think that perhaps, there's a lot of people who didn't like it just because, and I think that there might be a lot of different reasons for that. What David Chase in this recent interview gets into is that he feels like he encountered, to his dismay, a lot of people who just seemed bloodthirsty about it. Like, they thought that, they just wanted to see Tony dead on screen. And as opposed to what I think is probably, I'm sure there are people like that, but I'm sure a lot of people also just are not used to having our expectations played with in that way, right? Because it's one thing if you want to have the show end on a note of uncertainty, of tension, of feeling like, whether something happened right then in that restaurant or not, he's gonna have to be looking over his shoulder, right? Like, there's ways to do that without it just being such an abrupt ending that makes it feel like there must have been more scene that we just don't get to see now. So I have mixed feelings about that particular creative choice, but, just heads up, and anyone who really doesn't want to know anything more about the ending of The Sopranos, I think you'll be okay. I'll go ahead and give that spoiler warning. David Chase has essentially said, the reason for the abrupt ending is because it is not supposed to be an implication that nothing happens at that moment, but that he is actually just, that he's just, worried or paranoid or whatever. It is intended to reflect that he is killed. But that it's a bit like the line earlier in the season where his friend slash brother-in-law slash employee, Bobby, talks about the idea that you never hear the one that gets you. And so that it's more about that, is that if the show is from Tony's perspective and he's gone without ever knowing anything happened, that's what the cut to black is supposed to reflect. Now, I mean, I think we could argue about how successful the execution of that was creatively, but the show overall, triumph. So good. It's incredible. And I've really enjoyed rewatching it, just in particular because I think I got a lot more out of it this time compared to my first viewing, which I also enjoyed, but enjoyed on much more of a surface level. But in any case, just to I've already taken up all of the necessary time this morning, but just to describe the rest of my media consumption last night, is that I followed up the final episode of The Sopranos by watching the original Miracle on 34th Street, which, you know what, still pretty good. I think the pacing leaves a little bit to be desired by modern standards. The middle third in particular is a little bit like, it's taking its what it made me think of is someone setting up a chessboard but just really taking their time with it. Just here's a rook, it goes right there. Here's a knight. I think it's the right hand knight. And let's see, a pawn. Right there. So like they're setting things up to happen for the final act where they have this trial, but yeah, that part is not the most exciting part of the movie. But overall, it's just charming. It's a classic for a reason. I vaguely, every single time I watch it, I vaguely misremember that the line, "Yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus," is in it, but it's actually not. That's a totally separate thing. They did make a movie called Virginia, "Yes, Virginia, there's a Santa Claus," but that's not from Miracle on 34th Street. That's not what that's from. But yes, it's very good. I love it. I also played a bit more of Inscription, which is a creepy, mind-bendy, card-based computer game. So those are my three things that I had on my brain last night. So I'll leave it there for now. I hope everyone has a good Friday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes. Happy birthday, Rocket.